News Services Division of Akashvani presents Northeast Diary.
Good evening. Welcome to this edition of Northeast Diary, bringing you the latest developments of India's unexplored Northeast region. Today, we bring you an interview with Santa Baladevi Gurumayun, scientist at Zoological Survey of India, Itanagar, on the biodiversity of Arunachal Pradesh. We will also talk about Kargil Vijay Ride, a motorcycle expedition undertaken by Indian Army from Kohima to Kargil, K2K, commemorating the celebrations of the 24th Kargil Vijay Divas. But for now, let's go over to Meghalaya, where Forest Man of India, Sri Jadhav Payang, planted saplings at IIM Shillong as part of tree plantation drive marking the completion of 15 years of IIM Shillong. The Forest Man of India, Jadhav Payang, a native of Jorhat in Assam, visited Meghalaya to attend the 16th inaugural day of the Indian Institute of Management, IIM, Shillong on July 4th at the pristine location of Umswale, where he also planted trees as part of the tree plantation drive within the campus. Payang has emphasized the need to educate children about the significance of planting and nurturing trees.
Jadhav Payang, who is also a Padma Shri awardee, envisioned children becoming ambassadors in the global movement to recreate a sustainable environment for a livable planet Earth. He urged parents to entrust the children to care for nature as it provides essential elements such as oxygen, sunlight and more, nurturing them into worthy human beings. The Forest Man of India expressed concern over the manner humans are encroaching upon forest lands for constructing houses, offices, etc. He also attributed climate change in Meghalaya to rapid deforestation, which according to him has made the city warmer over the years. Payang emphasized the importance of biodiversity and said that development is essential but not at the cost of chopping trees and destroying nature. He asserted that development should be sustainable and must not affect nature.
डेवलप तो चाहिए, लेकिन पेड़ पौधा काट के मत करिए. पेड़ पौधा रोक के संरक्षण करके उसको आप डेवलप करो और सब मिलजुल के ग्रीन करो. माँ धरती को ग्रीन करो, तब ग्रीन होगा, आप जिंदे रहेगा. ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिलेगा तो कैसे जिंदे रहेगा? इसके लिए हम लोग का पेड़ पौधा के ऊपर कितने जरूरत है.
Moreover, advised the people of Meghalaya to not bring trees from Assam but to plant trees native to Meghalaya, which will be a way to preserve biodiversity.
ये मेघालय का पेड़ जितने भी मेघालय में प्लांटेशन करो, आसाम से लेके मत करिए, वो तो बायोडाइवर्सिटी खत्म करेगा. ये बायोडाइवर्सिटी ऐसे ही है और ये करने से भी पंछी जो बाहर आएगा जल्दी जल्दी मेघालय भी अभी ग्रीन हो जाएगा. सब मिलजुल के आपको मेघालय को ग्रीन करो, क्या बात है. तो सब लोग ग्रीन करने वाला, सब यही काम करने से भी मैं खुशी होगा.
The Padma Shri awardee highlighted that the Molai forest, which initiated 42 years ago, currently serves as a home to 115 elephants, tigers, leopards, rhinoceros and other wildlife. The forest attracts 80% of Indian migratory birds. His dream project of connecting the Molai forest with the Kaziranga National Park, a 60-kilometer stretch, is currently in progress, furthering the cause of conservation and biodiversity. Payang also advocated the planting of sandalwood trees for environmental and economic benefits. Drawing examples from countries like China and Taiwan, he emphasized the need for India to increase its focus on cultivating sandalwood trees known for the high value. The Meghalaya government may consider the suggestion made by the Forest Man of India on the need to educate young children on the importance to plant more trees for preservation and protection of the environment. The government can also think of planting more trees which are native to the state in a way to preserve the biodiversity. This is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with Lamfrang Nongspang for Northeast Diary for Akashvani News, Shillong.
In a first of its kind, the Indian Army is undertaking a motorcycle expedition from Kohima to Kargil, K2K. This is to commemorate the celebrations of the 24th Kargil Vijay Divas and also pay tribute to the gallant Naga soldiers who laid down their lives during the line of duty during Operation Vijay. GOC in C, Eastern Command and Colonel of the Kumaon, Naga Regiments and Kumaon Scouts, Lieutenant General R.P. Kalita flagged off the expedition from Kohima on 2nd July 2023. Our Kohima correspondent has filed this report.
The expedition led by the 2nd Battalion, the Naga Regiment, the Mashok warriors will traverse across over 3,700 kilometers from Kohima to Kargil through 8 states and 2 union territories. General Officer Commanding in Charge, Eastern Command, Lieutenant General R.P. Kalita said,
हमें बहुत गर्व होता है कि कारगिल के मुश्किल लड़ाई के दौरान इन वीरों ने कठिन परिस्थितियों के सामना करते हुए विजय हासिल किया था। इसका विजय गाथा पिछले 25 साल से हम लोग मना रहे हैं और इस विजय को सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए इसका अभी 25वीं सालगिरह शुरू होने जा रहा है। ये एक्सपीडिशन को आयोजित किया गया है। इस एक्सपीडिशन में 2 ऑफिसर, 2 जेसीओ और 21 जवान जो कि मॉस्को बटालियन यानी 2 नागा रेजिमेंट के हैं वो हिस्सा लेंगे और ये एक्सपीडिशन जो सेक्रेट सॉइल को लेके आया है उस रणभूमि से जो यहाँ मौजूद यहाँ उपस्थित जो वीर नारी है या उनका एनओके है उनको वो वीर भूमि के जो सॉइल है वो प्रदान किया जाएगा। सॉइल ऑफ द बैटलफील्ड विल बी हैंडेड ओवर टू द नेक्स्ट ऑफ किन ऑफ द ब्रेव मार्टियर्स हु मेड द सुप्रीम सैक्रिफाइस ड्यूरिंग द कारगिल वॉर। और इसके बाद ये जो एक्सपीडिशन टीम है तकरीबन 3,700 किलोमीटर तय करके कोहिमा से अनेक राज्यों और यूनिट टेरिटरी के थ्रू जाके कारगिल में 25 जुलाई को यानी कि कारगिल विजय दिवस के संध्या पर वहां उपस्थित होंगे और उनका फ्लैगिंग सेरेमनी किया जाएगा।
As a tribute, the team will carry the soil along the entire route that was collected from the villages of the fallen heroes of the Kargil War. The team will also interact with all sections of society en route, highlighting the roles of Indian Army in nation building, motivating youth and addressing the grievances of ex-servicemen and Veer Naris. For Northeast Diary, this is Asanyo from Akashvani News, Kohima.
Tripura is a landlocked state in northeast part of India and it shares more than 800 kilometers of border with neighbouring Bangladesh. Even as most of the borders on the Indian side have been fenced, certain pockets have been left out. Recently, fencing works have been started in those porous areas located in Sonamura subdivision under Sefa Hilija district. After fencing will be erected, this area will play an important role in curbing the cross-border smuggling and other illegal activities. We have more details in this report from our Agartala correspondent.
Sonamura, which shares 84 kilometers of border with Bangladesh, still has more than 6 kilometers of border which is unfenced. Even though the BSF personnel are highly vigilant on this unfenced area, there has been a growing demand from locals that the border should be made more secure through barbed wire fencing. Talking to Akashvani News, District Magistrate and Collector of Sipahi Jala, Vishal Kumar said that there are around 6 stretches in the 6.24 kilometer unfenced area where fencing has to be erected. He said, even as the fencing work has started, it is going at a slow pace. The National Building Construction Company, NBCC, has been carrying out the work and they have been asked by the district administration to speed up their work.
पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में अभी सोनामुरा सब डिवीजन में कुछ लेंथ है जो अनफेंस्ड है। सोनामुरा का टोटल जो बॉर्डर एरिया है वो 84 किलोमीटर है, उसमें से लगभग 6.25 किलोमीटर अभी भी अनफेंस्ड है और उस पे सभी स्ट्रेचेस में लगभग काम शुरू हो गया है। एनबीसीसी काम कर रही है, कुछ जगहों पे काम स्लो चल रहा है। हम उनकी अथॉरिटीज के साथ बात कर रहे हैं और उम्मीद करते हैं कि सभी जगहों पे काम जल्दी से खत्म हो जाएगा। मोस्ट प्रोबेबली इस साल के अंत तक कंप्लीट जो काम है हो जाना चाहिए।
Even as majority people residing on the Indian side along the border have been demanding fencing, there are certain elements who have been taking the advantage of this porous area to indulge in illegal trans-border activities. The district administration believes that once the fencing work gets completed, hopefully by the end of this year, it will bring about a reduction of 90 to 95% in illegal activities and make the border and entire Sonamura division more secured. Kunal Shinde for Northeast Diary from Agartala.
We now bring you a talk on Assam, the land of blue hills and mighty Brahmaputra. This talk is being presented by Sangeeta Barua Kishorti and read by Sanjeev Barua.
Pragjotishpur, or the Kamarupa of the ancient times, the abode of goddess Kamakhya, the land of Shankaradeva, the great Vaishnava reformer of the 16th century, who gave India its classical dance form Satriya, among other gems. The motherland of brave Ahom General Lachit Borphukan, who chopped off the head of a traitor maternal uncle to win the Battle of Sarai Ghat. The decisive battle, fought in 1671, dashed all hopes of the Mughals from establishing its sway over the northeast. Unlike other parts of present-day India, Assam came under the British Empire only in 1826, after its Burmese invaders lost the battle against the better-armed British. Today, Assam is the gateway to India's northeast. Its first city, Guwahati, the business hub of the region, the largest of the seven sister states, is endowed with natural bounty, large-scale greenery, birds, insects, orchids, the fetid one-horned rhino, the hollok gibbon, besides other rare wild animals residing in its 20 wildlife sanctuaries and 5 national parks, 2 of which are designated World Heritage Sites. Acres and acres of tea estates roll on its hills and dales. A large number of tribes make up its social fabric. All of these, along with 2 international borders shared with Bangladesh and Bhutan, throw up a range of unusual places, people, food and sights for a tourist to experience. Guwahati itself holds quite a few options for a visitor to soak in the essence of the state. The city draws its name from 2 Assamese words, Gua or Arekanat and Hati or market, thus tracing its origins to a time when it was a trading post on river Brahmaputra, that huge mass of water, one of India's largest rivers that flows by the city. To the spiritually oriented, Guwahati is home to goddess Kamakhya. The ancient temple situated atop Nilachal Hills, about 8 kilometers from Guwahati city, is one of the most important sacred sites of goddess Durga, a must-visit pilgrimage destination for a devout Hindu. A visitor can begin the day with a trip to the temple to get a first-hand feel of tantric Hindu practice. During the festival of Ambubachi, every June, thousands of pilgrims visit the temple from across the country. Inscriptional evidence dates the temple to 5th, 6th century, though the present structure was erected in the 16th century by the mighty Koch king Naranarayana. Yet another one-of-a-kind experience for a visitor can be Umananda, the tiny island in the middle of Brahmaputra. Take a ferry ride to the island from the city's Kachari Ghat jetty to take a peek at the 17th century Shiva temple, built by the Ahoms, who ruled the state for 600 years, longest by any invader in present-day Indian history. The Ahoms, also referred to as Thais, are believed to have come from what is existing Thailand. The sculptures of Surya, Ganesha, Shiva, Devi and Vishnu with his 10 incarnations engraved on the temple of Umananda indicate the fact that worshippers of the region followed all the principal Hindu deities. The main shrine can be reached by a flight of steep steps. 2 other temples worth a visit are Ugratara, built in 1725, and Sukreshwar, built in 1744. In fact, Guwahati comprises of many old temples and water bodies built by Ahom kings, which had its capital here after Sibsagar, a town in Upper Assam, then known as Rangpur. The water bodies, or Pukri, worth a visit around Guwahati city are Dighali Pukhuri, Nagkata Pukhuri, Sil Pukhuri and Jor Pukhuri. Then there is the National Museum to visit, the Guwahati Tea Auction Centre, the largest in the world, besides looking around the local bazaars like the Pan Bazaar, Paltan Bazaar and Fancy Bazaar. Also the Cotton College, the premier educational institute established in 1901 by the British in Pan Bazaar. A day-long trip from Guwahati can be planned to Sualkuchi village, the center of the famous Assam silk. About 35 kilometers north of Guwahati, these weavers' village exudes a charm like no other. Almost every house has a shed that has the traditional bamboo looms, the gentle click-clacking of which can be heard from the streets. There are about 17,000 silk looms presently working in Sualkuchi, which produce an eclectic range of mekhla chadar, the two-piece dress that Assamese women wear, gamosas, the red and white traditional towel, ubiquitous in the state, and saris and stoles made of its local silks like muga, pat and eri. Yet another important place of Assam for a visitor is Hajo, 32 kilometers west of Guwahati. Hajo is unique as Hindus, Muslims and Buddhists consider it to be a sacred place. The Haigreev Madhav temple is perhaps the oldest temple in Hajo, believed to be originally built by Pala rulers in the 6th century. Then there is Daul Griha, the Ganesha temple, the Kedareshwar temple, Haragauri temple, among others. Hajo is also home to Poa Mecca, literally 1/4 of Mecca. It is the most important Muslim pilgrimage site in Assam, a visit to which is believed to confer 1/4 of the merits obtained from a pilgrimage to Mecca itself. The Dargah on Garurachal Hill has the tomb of the 14th century Sufi Pir, Sheikh Ghiyasuddin Aulia. Hajo is also seen by a section of Buddhists as the place where the Buddha attained parinirvana, or half the enlightenment. A trip to Assam is incomplete without a visit to 3 other places: the Kaziranga National Park, the Manas National Park and Sibsagar town. The 850 square kilometers wide World Heritage Site, Kaziranga, is home to the one-horned rhino. A memorable way of exploring Kaziranga is on elephant back. As the gentle creatures meander through the tall grass and the beetles of flood-formed lakes, there's every possibility of coming face to face with the rhinos or see them grazing unmindful of human presence. The Elephant Festival held every January in Kaziranga is a big draw with diverse cultural shows, food stalls and a riveting display of antics by domesticated elephants. A range of luxury-to-budget hotels and resorts that serve authentic Assamese food are available for tourists who stay and enjoy days in the midst of nature. The Manas National Park is also a World Heritage Site. The park was declared part of Chirang Ripu Elephant Reserve, which serves as the international corridor for elephant migration between India and Bhutan. Spread over 500 square kilometers on the banks of River Manas in Baksa and Chirang districts, the park has an extensive wet savanna grasslands. Besides hosting a formidable variety of fauna and flora, Manas is home to the rare golden langur, the wild buffalo and clouded leopard. In winter, hundreds of migratory birds flock to Manas. Sibsagar in Upper Assam is worth a visit to get an idea about how the Ahoms lived. It's the capital of Ahom Kingdom between 1228 and 1826. It has quite a few places of tourist interest, like the Shivsagar water tank, excavated by Ahom Queen Ambika in 1734. The twin temples of Shiva Dol, Vishnu Dol and Devi Dol are a must-visit. Take a stopover at the Thai Museum here to look at the textiles and other artifacts belonging to the Ahom kings. Jaisagar, the water tank 5 kilometers from Sibsagar, is by far the largest of all the tanks made by the Ahoms. It was built by King Rudra Singha in the memory of his mother, Joymoti, who was tortured to death by their enemies because she would not reveal her husband Gadadhar Singha's whereabouts. Ranghar, Karenghar, Talatalghar, the palaces of Ahom kings, are some other attractions in Sibsagar. If there is time at hand, 3 other places should be included in the itinerary. One is Majuli, the largest riverine island in Asia. Majuli is dotted with over 100 Vaishnava monasteries, which are a repository of Shankaradeva's teachings. Though the ideal time to visit Assam begins in end September, planning a trip to the state in April can bring with it a host of new experiences. Besides seeing the best of nature in springtime, a visitor can enjoy the state's biggest occasion for song, dance, food and festivity, Bihu.
You just heard a talk on Assam, the land of blue hills and mighty Brahmaputra, which was written by Sangeeta Barua Pishorti and read by Sanjeev Barua. Our personality of the week is Santa Baladevi Gurumayun, scientist at the Zoological Survey of India, Itanagar. She's being interviewed by Rakesh Dole.
In today's Notice Diary, we will talk with Dr. Santa Baladevi Gurumayun, scientist, Zoological Survey of India, Itanagar, regarding the biodiversity of Arunachal Pradesh. So, Madam, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Arunachal Pradesh falls in one of the biodiversity hotspots of the world. So, you have been working here in Arunachal Pradesh since long. So, what is your observations about these states?
Arunachal Pradesh is especially God-gifted state in India. The state falls in a biodiversity hotspots of the world. As to tell, there are 36 biodiversity spots in the world. And out of this, there are 4 in India. And the Arunachal Pradesh falls on one of the 4 hotspots of India. It is Indo-Eastern Himalayan hotspot. It's a part of the Himalayan hotspot. And remaining 2 are Indo-Burma. The rest of the Northeast India, other than Arunachal Pradesh, falls on this Indo-Burma hotspot. And Western Ghat, as you know, and this Andaman and Nicobar falls under Sundavan. Arunachal Pradesh, as you know, since it falls on the biodiversity hotspot, not only under the biodiversity hotspot, we are sitting in an ecotone region. Ecotone, if you say environmentally, is the transition zone between 2 biogeographical regions. It is Indo-Malayan and the Indo-Burma. So, what is the advantage of being in ecotone is you will get both spaces of this region. So, not only, we are also sitting at the same time in ecotone. We are sitting in ecotone. So, generally, biodiversity, both plant and animal species is very high.
You said there are high possibilities of new species, both flora and fauna in the state. Any kind of recent new species reported or discovered in the state recently in these last 2-3 years?
For Arunachal Pradesh, you cannot give you an exact data. Every time there is a chances of getting new species either in plant or animal is so high. And we cannot give a fixed data so far. For example, for mammals. So far, 160 species of mammals has been reported.
But only in Arunachal Pradesh?
Only in Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
And in the end of the last year, during this year, even one mammal species also, new mammal species has also been described by Zoological Survey of India. I'm also working as scientist in Zoological Survey of India, Arunachal Pradesh Center. So, getting a new species mammal is a very high thing in the biodiversity. Getting new species of insects and butterflies, very common thing because it is new to us. Even in the scientific journals, they are not accepting publication of single new species because getting a new species of insect is very high, very high. But as for mammals or their higher animals, it is very rare. Last year we have discovered, JRSA has discovered a new species of mammals. It's a monkey, Macaca sella.
Okay.
And as far as birds, as you know, is a very attractive species and many people are interested, not only scientists.
Really?
There are more than 760 new species of birds reported in Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
And 2-3 years back, exactly, I cannot remember, one new species of bird has been reported from Arunachal Pradesh. And as far as reptile is concerned, there are 78 species reported from this state. And recently in this year, one of our research scholars reported one new turtle, new report, not a new species. There is a difference between new report and new species of reptile, turtle, from our department, JRSI office. And as species, I am working on species in fish. So far, 250 species have been reported. This is the printed report. But every year, you will keep finding new species. And this year itself, we discovered a new species, including me. We went to Yingkiong district. Yingkiong is Upper Siang. We got a new species. Exostoma is a very small species, hardly 23-4 centimeters. And we got it from Yingkiong, one of the tributary of Siang River. And we named it, and our respected director, madam, says our Director District Banerjee. She is the first woman director of Zoological Survey of India. We named on her, the species name is Exostoma distrait, and this year only it was published in a FCI journal. And as far as insect or lower vertebrate invertebrate species is concerned, except butterflies, very few studies has been done, and the butterfly species also more than 700 species. It keeps on increasing, and since butterflies are active species, lots of work has been done. And other insects, we call it this lesser non-species also. Very few studies have been done.
Okay.
So even JRSI also, though we have published fauna of Arunachal Pradesh, lots of research has to be done on these invertebrate things.
Yeah. If we see the geographical terrain of Arunachal Pradesh, it starts from the snow-capped mountains to the plains just bordering the Assam. So basically, in which region this research or this project of your department has been done? Mostly in the plains or in the high snow-capped mountains?
Zoological Survey of India is a central organization coming under Ministry of Environment and Forest. There are 16 regional centers, and Arunachal Pradesh is very lucky in this sense, because Arunachal Pradesh is the only state where a full center has been dedicated. Like other centers, there is Northern Regional Center, Southern Regional Center, Western Regional Center, Northeastern Regional Center is there in Shillong, seeing remaining states. But for Arunachal Pradesh, there is one single institute and settled for Arunachal Pradesh only. Arunachal Pradesh Regional Center of Zoological Survey of India.
Okay.
So, being in a JRSI and APRC, Arunachal Pradesh Regional Center, we cover entire area of Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
From Tirak, Longding, Namsai to Tawang. Into everywhere we are going survey 3-4 times in a year at least.
Arunachal Pradesh is said to be, which has got the potential of becoming the powerhouse of India.
Definitely.
But when we say the powerhouse of India, we have to build big dams.
Yes.
A couple of days back, I went to Lower Subansiri project and I've seen a lot of big projects coming up there. So what is your take on it? How is this going to affect the biodiversity? Because lots of environmentalists, they say that big dam can create lots of problem and also extinction of some species. So what is your take on it?
This is purely my own view, personal view. This is not from distracting from Zoological Survey of India.
Fine.
Yes, basically there are lots of powerhouses are coming up, hydropower especially. But we have to rely on these natural resources, either solar power or hydropower. And if you want to gain something, you have to lose something. But at the same time, we should not compromise at that much angle, degree. There should be some degree. If you are having a dam, some areas will be definitely submerged. Because if you have to gain something, you have to lose something. But at the same time, we have lots of protected area in Arunachal Pradesh, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries. It should not be fall under this. I don't personally view coming up dams and these things, provided it is very generally area, because instead of relying on the petrol and this fuel thing, it's better to rely on natural sources like solar energy and hydropower energy. But we should tackle in a very careful way so that it doesn't harm the species, because diversity will always be there. But there are some animals, like for example in Assam, you go to the Kaziranga National Park, a rhinoceros is available, one hog. For example, in the Arunachal Pradesh or Namdapha National Park is there. Other than this protected area, and before erecting any dam, actually generally we one survey, EIS. So under this we should permission whether it is possible, feasible or not.
Okay.
So it's not an issue. We always do EIS before a dam come up, proposal come up, before finalizing things. So I don't think actually this is a good report, that report of the ground reality report. I don't think coming up of dam is not an issue.
So thank you very much, madam, for coming to Northeast Diary program and sharing us your experience regarding biodiversity of Arunachal Pradesh and also various new species coming up here. Thank you very much.
You just heard an interview with Santa Baladevi Gurumayun, scientist of Zoological Survey of India, Itanagar. She was being interviewed by Rakesh Dole. And now listen to a delightful Manipuri folk fusion song by Nang Toy. With that, we have come to the end of this edition of Northeast Diary. Do join us next week to hear more stories from this enchanting part of India. Until then, bye-bye.
This program was scripted and presented by Lucy G. Chattopadhyay, produced by Vinita Thakur with assistance from Kumar Gaurav. It was brought to you by the News Services Division of Akashvani.